Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16e and compare it against the Google Pixel 9 and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, the big thing I can definitely tell you, right, if you're going to go ahead and look at both these types of phones, the iPhone 16e is going to be one of those types of phones that's probably going to be more interesting in some ways, and the Pixel 9 is also going to be an interesting phone as well. So let's go and take a look at both of these and see how they both hold up. First things first though, if you do want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones, the Google Pixel 9, which came out in August of last year, on the front side of that phone, you're getting a pretty large or good-sized 6.3-inch OLED display. So this type of device and this type of panel, for the most part, it's pretty bright. It gets up to 2700 nits of brightness, and it gives you 120 hertz as well. So it's a hole punch display too. This panel is a very good looking panel. If you're going to go through and pick up a device, this thing definitely looks very, very good. It definitely could go far worse than this. And this is a very solid panel when it kind of comes down to it. Now, the thing to keep in mind here is that the iPhone 16e just came out, right? It just came out. And this is not supposed to be a super cheap phone. This is supposed to be a mid-tier phone. The iPhone 16e on the front is going to be giving you a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. That right there sounds pretty good. But it's going to be giving you a 60 hertz panel and 1200 nits of brightness with a notch. This in and of itself is a very, very interesting thing to kind of keep in mind here. Because if you're going to go through and pick up something like an iPhone 16e, how this phone compares against something like a Pixel 9, it's really not even that close, right? The Google Pixel 9 screen is going to be way better. So if you're looking at both these phones, you're definitely going to be noticing a difference. It's a brighter panel on the Pixel 9 with a higher refresh rate with less bezel on it. So once again, this in and of itself is one of those very, very important things to keep in mind there from that side. Now, on top of that, or on the bottom of it, depending on how you're looking at it, you're getting a USB Type-C port. So this in and of itself is nice. I love having USB Type-C, and you're getting that in both these phones. Flat sides all throughout. On the back side, you're getting basically like a frosted glass back on both these types of phones. The Pixel 9 is more of like a standard glass back, but the iPhone 16 is a solid glass back. So both these phones feel very good that side. They both have wireless charging. They both do not have any sort of MagSafe capability, so they both share that. And the interesting thing here though is that the iPhone 16e does have that single camera setup, where the Pixel 9 is giving you a dual camera setup. Now, this is just a very interesting type of experience, because when you're looking at both these phones, I will probably tell you just from that side in and of itself, it is a very interesting thing to kind of take a look at both these phones and have that type of experience. So I think this in and of itself is just a crazy thing, right? The Pixel 9 holds up way better than the iPhone 16e. But the other big thing to keep in mind here too is that when you're taking a look at something like an iPhone 16e, this phone misses out on things like reverse wireless charging, right? That's a really cool feature the Pixel 9 has. The 16e doesn't quite have that. So I definitely do think if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, the Google Pixel 9 holds up much better than the iPhone 16e. But the craziest thing is that the iPhone 16e is also basically going through and giving you, it's giving you a more expensive phone comparatively to the Pixel 9 in the used market. The Pixel 9 in the used market right now is about $474 on Amazon. The iPhone 16e just came out, so that phone's going to be costing about $599. So that is in and of itself, once again, another crazy thing to keep in mind there as well. You are going to be getting a much better device inside of something like an iPhone 16e. You're going to be getting a better phone value from a Pixel 9 comparatively to the iPhone 16e. So that is in and of itself just another crazy thing to keep in mind there as well. And I do think if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that is one of the craziest things to keep in mind there as well. So from that side too, that kind of covers it up there. Now on top of that, when it kind of comes down to their cameras, the Google Pixel 9 is going to be giving you a dual camera setup, a 50 megapixel wide and a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera, where the iPhone 16e is going to be giving you a single 48 megapixel camera. Now both of them can zoom in quite a bit, but the problem with the iPhone 16e is that you are missing out on that ultra-wide camera. And having an ultra-wide camera would definitely be such a nice experience. I love being able to go through and pick up a phone that's going to be giving you that type of experience. And that's exactly what's kind of going to end up happening here. So take it as you will, but if you are going to go through and pick up a phone, that is in and of itself a really, really big thing and a really big takeaway in and of itself. So I will definitely tell you when it comes down to the camera side, quite possibly the iPhone 16e, the camera quality is still going to be great, but the Google Pixel 9 is probably going to be the one that's probably going to be the better experience as far as I can tell. So from the camera side, that also kind of covers it up there too. Now on top of that, another very important thing to keep in mind here is the software longevity. So both these phones are still going to be supported with software for many more years. So you're not really going to be missing out on anything as far as I can tell. Like both of them are still going to be here for many, many more years to come. So these two phones are probably going to be completely different phones in the next couple of years. That's always something really cool to see. Being able to go through and pick up a phone that's going to be giving you that type of experience once again. I'm a really big fan of that, and I definitely do think you're going to be getting a very good experience with this type of device when it kind of comes down to it from that side. So whichever phone you plan on buying, you're going to be getting software support for a long period of time. When it kind of comes down to their batteries, this is an interesting one. So the iPhone 16e basically has like a 4,000 milliamp battery, which is pretty crazy. The Pixel 9 is giving you a 4,700 milliamp battery. So it's still kind of early to tell a little bit on like which device is going to be the longer lasting one here in terms of battery life. I would probably say that between both, the iPhone 16e might not last as long as the Pixel 9, but they're going to be neck and neck, and they're both going to hold up very, very well when it kind of comes down to that side. So I do think this in and of itself is a very important thing to keep in mind there too. So you're not really going to feel like you're missing out on too much if you get either one of these types of phones. Finally, when it does kind of come down to their performance, the iPhone 16e is giving you the Apple A18 chipset with 8 gigs of RAM, where the Google Pixel 9 is going to be giving you that Google Tensor G4 chipset inside with 12 gigabytes of RAM. So this is in and of itself going to be another really, really big advantage here for the iPhone, for both of these actually. Both of them are going to be very fast phones. They're not really going to be feeling like you're missing out on like an insane amount of stuff. And I do think that is in and of itself one of the bigger takeaways here. Like being able to go through and pick up either one of these phones, I think is very important. And they're both going to be very, very fast phones. The thing with the Pixel 9 is that you do have the ability of kind of installing any sort of emulator that you want to. And there's a lot of different emulators out there, which is something I love seeing and love doing. So with something like the iPhone 16e, you don't necessarily have like as much capability from that sense compared to the Pixel. But with that being said, you're still getting a lot of capability inside of something like a Google Pixel 9 and an iPhone 16e. And both these phones are going to be very, very fast phones when it comes down to it, to that side as well. So overall, to kind of sum up this comparison, what I can definitely tell you is that both of these phones, I think, are very good. These are very, very good devices. You're not really missing out on too many things here either. And I do think this is in and of itself a very important thing to keep in mind. I think with a phone like an iPhone 16e, this phone is okay. Like it's a good phone, but it's not a good phone for the price. The Pixel 9 is a better value per dollar comparatively to a used phone because it's it's cheaper than an iPhone 16e, and you're getting like a better phone when it comes down to it from that side. So it's a very interesting kind of thing. I think if you can swing for maybe like a Google Pixel 9 Pro, that seems like that might be the same value of an iPhone 16e brand new. That might be a better option. But with all that being said, I definitely will tell you, I think an iPhone 16e is a good phone, but I just don't think it's a good phone for the price. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, so long.